You know, we've all been there. You're watching someone, a kid, a student, heck, maybe even yourself, and they do something that just makes you go, what? It's confusing, it's frustrating, and honestly, it feels like a total mystery.
It's the question that drives us nuts, right? Why does the toddler keep throwing their food? Why does the teenager crack that joke at the worst possible time? We are just surrounded by these puzzling behaviors, and it can feel like you're just hitting your head against a wall.
But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if these things aren't just character flaws, but actually a kind of secret language? So for this explainer, let's put on our detective hats. We're going to try to crack the code, shifting our whole mindset from judgment to just pure curiosity.
All right, let's dive right in. The very first step in solving any mystery is to gather the facts, right? And that means we have to start seeing the world in a very, very specific way. Okay, so rule number 1 for a behavior detective, stop using labels and start describing things like a camera would. See, we jump to conclusions so fast we think he's aggressive, but what a camera would actually see is he hit the table with his fist. We think she's lazy, but the camera just records she puts her head on the desk. This little shift is absolutely crucial because labels are just judgments, but observable behaviors, those are our clues.
So, now that we're observing like a camera, we can start looking for the single most important clue in this entire mystery, the behavior's function.
And here is the big secret, you guys. Behavior is almost never random. If a behavior keeps happening over and over again, it's because it works. It's doing something for that person. It's serving a purpose, whether we can see it right away or not.
So what in the world do we mean by function? Well, it's not some deep, complex psychological motive from their childhood. Nope. In behavioral science, the function is way simpler. It's the reason the behavior keeps going. It's about what it gets the person, right here, right now. It's all about the immediate payoff. It all boils down to this one core idea. A behavior that sticks around is a behavior that's being reinforced somehow. The consequence, that payoff, that's what's keeping it alive. So when we ask, what's the function? What we're really asking is, what's the payoff here? What consequence is keeping this thing going?
Okay, now that we know we're looking for a motive, it turns out there are really only 4 main suspects. Think of this as our detective's official shortlist.
And we can remember them with a super easy acronym, EATS. Is the person trying to escape something they don't want to do? Are they trying to get attention from other people? Are they after a tangible thing they want, like a toy or a snack? Or is it sensory, meaning the action itself just feels good or calming to them? Pretty much every behavior you can think of can be traced back to one of these 4.
Let's make this crystal clear. A teenager cracks a joke and the whole class laughs? Boom, that's attention. A kid throws their worksheet and suddenly the work stops? That's escape. A child screams in a store and gets candy to be quiet? That's a tangible. And someone rocking back and forth when they're alone just because it feels calming? Pure sensory. See? Simple, direct payoffs.
Okay, so we've got our suspects, but here's the thing. Identifying the right one is everything. This is the part of the mystery where we actually solve the case.
And now, here is the central aha moment. Take a look at these 2 case files. We have 2 different kids doing the exact same behavior, hitting their sibling, but look at their motives, their functions. They're completely different. Child A wants attention, child B just wants to get out of sharing a toy.
And this is why the function changes everything. Your solution has to match the motive. For child A who wants attention, we need to teach them a better way to ask for it. But that same solution would totally fail for child B who wants to escape sharing. For them, we need to teach them how to ask for a turn. If you get these mixed up, you don't just fail to solve the problem, you could actually make it worse.
So here's the game plan. Once you know the function, you can teach a better way to get that exact same need met. So if a kid screams to get a tablet, that's a tangible, right? We teach them to ask politely, maybe using a picture or just saying, "Tablet, please." And then, and this part is key, we have to honor that new skill. We give them the tablet when they ask nicely. We have to make the new skill more powerful and more effective than screaming ever was. We're giving them a better tool for their toolbox.
And this really brings us to the heart of this entire approach. Being a behavior detective isn't about punishing people or controlling them, it's about being compassionate and actually effective.
The goal is never, ever to just control another person.
It's to understand what they are desperately trying to tell us with their behavior, and then our job is to empower them with safer, better, more effective ways to get their needs met. It completely shifts how you see things, from seeing a problem child to seeing a child who has a problem.
I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. That challenging behavior we see, it's not a flaw. It's communication. It's a survival skill. Right now, in this moment, it's the best tool that person has to navigate their world. Our job isn't to blame them for the tool they're using, it's to teach them and to give them better ones.
So the next time you find yourself totally baffled by someone's behavior, maybe just try asking a different question. Instead of asking, how do I make this stop? Ask yourself, what is this behavior telling me? What is this person trying to get? I promise you, the answer just might change everything.